This is the case of the very first computer that I ever built back in November of 1992, when I was just 11 years old and in the 6th grade. Before we dive into it and see what's left, let's go with a little backstory. Though unrecognizable from the front, this was the Hillwood Center, and Alabama Computer Associates started its life at 3064 Zelda Road before moving next door to a double space. It was 3062. Over here was a Big B drug store, and it's hard to tell where the actual storefront was, but as you can tell from the picture, it doesn't much look the same. But it does from the back. They haven't touched the back, so let's go take a look at the back. So this is behind the shopping center. And this was the back of 3064, our first store, or the first Alabama Computer Associates, before moving to the bigger spot over here at 3062. Both these doors were exits to 3062. You can still see some of the address scarring there. But both of these were 3062. And when I was a 6th grader, I used to try to disassemble hard drives without tools, and I wanted to see what the inside looked like, and I tried to break open a full-height MFM hard drive back in that ditch, and I never got it open. Anyway, traffic's beginning to pick up, so let's go back to Montgomery Micros now and go have a look inside the case itself. Now, just for fun, I'm going to power it up, and I do not expect it to work. Also, on a side note, this case was yellowed when I bought it. Or I should say when my dad bought it. And if you look in the picture, I'm going to zoom in and put that in the video right now. You can see there's a full tower case and a mini tower case in the display front of Alabama Computer Associates. This case was in the middle, and I wanted a full tower, but my dad only let me get a mid tower. But I'm pretty certain that if you could look behind these people, the picture would show this very case without this sticker on it sitting in the window display. But the last time I remember upgrading this computer, you can see a little bit of it in a video that I made for a project in the 11th grade. The video looks silly. That was the last time I upgraded it. I'm hoping I can provide some screenshots of that video while I'm narrating this. But shortly after that video would have been in 1998. I believe I sold the computer to my dad's friend in 1999, and he let his mom use it. And when she passed, he gave the computer back to me, I guess in the early 2000s, and I've done nothing with it ever since. Haven't looked inside of it. Haven't tried to put power to it. So, actually, I will take the case off of it and look, make sure there's nothing inside to short out. I have no idea what's inside the computer anymore. Let's take a look and see if it's worth putting power on. The ultimate goal is to restore this to a period-accurate 486. It started its life as a 486 DX33 with 4 megs of RAM and a 130 meg hard drive Seagate, DOS 5.0 and Windows 3.1. I think I would be okay making it a DX266 just so it could run some period accurate games a little better than a DX33. Let's have a look inside. Let's reveal that original Alabama Computer Associates serial number. Oh, this case is in rough shape. M001141. Does that mean this was the 1141st computer that came out of the Montgomery, Alabama Computer Associates? The last upgrade was purchased from Alabama Computer Associates, but at that time, Rick and Kathy Murchison had renamed it to RK Enterprises, and that was their logo. So this motherboard came from Alabama Computer Associates in the late 90s, or RK Enterprises. Let's see what kind it is. All right, the drive cage is obviously loose. It's got a quantum hard drive in it. Dollars to donuts, it doesn't work just because it's a quantum. John, would you put the drive cage somewhere?
Sure.
What is this, 30 pin and 72 pin SIMs? I don't know. It's got a coin cell battery, so that's good. It means there's gonna be no battery leakage on here. What kind of VGA card is this? S3? PCI and ISA slots. Oh Lord. You know, I'm not even going to, I just want to power it up and see if we get any kind of post. Let's do that. All right, if we get any magic smoke, I want to capture it. So, let's flip the switch on the power strip. Oh. The switch is stuck. Hang on. Well, this is a first. I'm being foiled by a cracked power switch. I can't toggle the switch to the upright position. Of all the stops that I imagined today, a screwed up power switch is not one that I imagined, and that might be why it's cracked. Maybe the switch froze and somebody put a lot of pressure on it and it broke the plastic that rocks the switch. I don't want to try to jump it and just use the actual wires that go to it. I want to try to track down another switch, and because I really do want to try to restore this computer. In this case, looks like it's going to need a lot more work than I initially thought. The drive cage has been pinching some of these wires that go to the control panel, I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed. I wanted to at least get something turned on today, but I also need to find a good way to get all this rust off of the case. This is going to be a much larger project than I thought it was going to be, but this will be the first in a long series. Seems to be a recurring trend. Tons of projects, just not enough time and money to do it all. So, but at least we got started. Now, time to go hunt down some components. You would go to Chris's Hot Dogs and get an early lunch?
Sounds good to me.
So the day won't be a complete waste?
That works.
Alright, let's do it. Chris's Hot Dogs is a famous place here in Montgomery, Alabama that's been open since 1917. I hope I don't get a content strike from the music in the background. These are indescribably delicious. So I guess really the first thing that I need to do after eating some delicious Chris's hot dogs Let's hunt down an AT power supply or something similar, a similar replacement. A rocker switch. I think I'd still kind of like to go with an old school AT power supply. And I wonder if there's a way to go and put the case in a bead blaster to get all the rust off of it. It needs to be de-rusted and put some, Rust-Oleum or some kind of rust prevention on it. But I'm gonna have to start tracking down parts. I'm very, very disappointed that I was expecting to get a lot further today than we did. But if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So we're gonna enjoy some hot dogs and the rest of our weekend. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend too. Thanks for watching.